Welcome to Project Comedy, a podcast by and for military veterans doing stand-up comedy, turning military banter into quality stand-up comedy acts. We might be veterans, but our comedy aims to get everybody laughing. When Project Comedy gets a new member, their first comments tend to be, how can you do comedy in a cancel culture? All these snowflakes want to ban having fun. All these woke people will just get offended. I'm happy to report I've not witnessed cancel culture on the circuit. It's key to remember that the circuit is far closer to the edge than TV. You can get away with saying things far more than you would be able to on things like Live at the Apollo or Mock the Week. But that doesn't mean you can be racist, misogynistic, homophobic, or just downright hurtful. To be successful, you need to connect with your audience, not alienate them. So where is the line? What is woke? When is it valid? When is it useful? When should it be ignored or when should it be called out? To examine that, I'm joined by Gabriel Murphy, the only European in our ambassador team, and I'm assured that he's been known to eat more than root vegetables and doesn't river dance when dancing to heavy metal. We've got Jamie Johnson, a man of a persecuted minority that suffered degrading taunts and treatments, but it's his human right to participate in an activity found repulsive by baby boomers, playing role-playing games. Not to mention, we've got Daniel Wright, who has been forced to endure the unacceptable term of former regular serviceman of the Royal Air Force. So we're proud to use the correct term of full-time employee currently on an extended sabbatical from such restrictive hours of the organisation now known as the Republic Accepting Air Deterrence and Persuasion Collective. And I'm Jay Saunders, currently investigating if I'm bisexual, given I'm repulsive to both sexes. Good evening, non-gendered attendees of no fixed race or religion. Do I have your consent to inquire as to your current comfort status?
Oh, grief, that was a mouthful.
Very comfortable.
The last time I had a mouthful that big, I was a choir boy.
I'm going to say, Jay, that was some mouthful. I'm surprised you got your tongue around that one.
Because it's a fucking joke at times, isn't it?
I like the root vegetable thing as well, by the way. That's another reason why I hate summer is because the only fucking spud you get is them shitty little new potatoes that are fucking around salads and shit.
Oh, but I love new potatoes. I love new potatoes.
How's the instant smash?
Yeah, you never see a bit of mash, do you, here in summer? Like, you know what I mean? Not a roasted spud inside. Not a jacket potato to be seen.
The reason I really wanted to do this episode was I'm writing some material about it after speaking to an audience member, because they came up to me and went, I really like the way you're actually on stage because you're kind of woke, aren't you? And I just turned around and went, actually, no, I'm something different. It's called having manners. I kind of get the point of, let's be honest about it. So many things are actually right and progressive and what have you, but woke can go to fucking extremes. We were talking last week, there is no such thing as free speech. We don't live in a free country. Wake up and smell the fucking coffee. But then again, you can take things too far, can't you?
I prefer tea.
Waking up and smelling the tea doesn't actually ring off the tongue, does it, Gabe?
I'm offended because you didn't say that tea is also a drink.
Apparently, some clouds are starting to be cancelled because people are not happy that they're throwing shades.
Right, I'm 53. What does that actually mean? What does throwing shades mean?
They're putting shades on the ground.
What?
It's a play on words as because they're fucking clouds, they cover the sun and cause shade.
Oh, right, okay, but what? I don't understand. But I don't understand the general term. I mean, oh, he's giving me shade or he's throwing shades. What does it actually mean?
Because you're a shady cunt for doing it.
I don't know if it was another term. I was just.
I heard it somewhere.
Is that another? Has it got another meaning? Is it?
Yeah, well, apparently, well,
Is that a
I've heard
millennial thing?
say it. Oh, he was chucking me some shade, and I'm there going, well, yeah, it's quite warm at the moment. What's the problem?
He
I
was
don't
putting
understand.
an umbrella up for you.
I
Chucking
think
some
I'm
shade.
the only Gen X here, aren't I?
Is that old?
You guys are all technically millennials, aren't you?
I'm a Gen
Millennials
X.
is up to.
I don't know, mate. I was born in the 80s.
So yeah, that still qualifies you as a millennial, I think.
You
You're
qualify
not Gen Y or Gen Z.
if you're born
I'm
after
Gen X.
81. If you're born after 81, you're a millennial. 81 to
Okay.
96. So yeah, I'm a millennial.
Just a millennial.
I'm right in the middle of the millennials. I'm a pure
I'm quite
millennial.
comfortably-
I'm not a half-blood millennial. I'm millennial all the way, right in the middle.
I wanted to talk about a couple of things in this, in the fact of it starts off with good intention, doesn't it? It really starts off with good intention. For example, the first line I've got here is racism. And I get that.
I don't think
Racism
racism
is-
started off with good intentions, mate.
I think it was slavery.
I'm fairly sure that definitely didn't start with good intentions.
Mate,
Right,
that is
what we'll
so
do-
going into my next routine.
We'll just-
That is so going into my next routine. But yeah, but a response to racism, it came out with good intention. It was, no, you're not allowed to use terms like the P word. You're not allowed to use the N word. It's not acceptable that grandma and granddad are referring to somebody as darky and all that sort of stuff. But it's ended up becoming ridiculous. For example, within our own little collective, I do enjoy taking the piss out of you, Gabe, for your over love of mashed potatoes. Right? That isn't racism. That's xenophobia. That's
Yeah.
different.
Well, I mean, Irish people are white too. Well, mainly.
But it's sort of, I've had somebody say it to me before. Oh no, you can't take it. You can't take the piss out of Romanians. That is racist. Like, no, it's not. It's xenophobia. It's different. Can you actually understand the difference between what a race is and what a hatred of foreigners is? It's very, very different.
Definitely.
I think you just don't be a cunt, and that's it, really, isn't it? There's no cure for being a cunt, is there?
I don't know. Ernest Hemingway found a good cure for it.
So did Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh no, I'm thinking of it.
I was actually quite proud of that.
I thought that was created a cunt.
Exactly. He's being called a cunt, so he actually got one in possession.
All right, getting it.
What things about woke make you nervous, or what do you? Let's go around the room. What do you define as woke?
What
Being
is-
able to use abbreviations.
Be it,
I genuinely don't know.
Honestly, I've seen so many things now where people, like, instead of saying like "what do you mean," like they put WDYM. It's like, fucking hell, is your life that a fucking hamburger?
surely that's just abbreviation, not woke.
It's,
Yeah, no, but it seems to be that the only people who are woke actually use them abbreviations.
it's sensitive to
right.
racism, isn't it? Making everything racist. Saying, oh, that's racist, that's racist. Just for calling, where actually the definition of racism is to be derogatory towards a race or a type of person, not just calling out a race or, playing on stereotypes or something, or joking about race. It's actually being derogatory towards a singular race. That's what woke. But woke takes it too far, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, and this is the key to comedy,
Making
isn't it?
everything racist.
Comedy, there's always the butt of a gag. There is always a butt to the gag. But we should be allowed to celebrate difference. And that can become the butt of the gag. We've spoken about self-deprecating humor. So we quite happily turn ourselves into the butt of the gag. But if there's a difference between two types of people, enjoy that difference. So, for example, many of my university mates were of sub-Indian continent. I'm hating myself because I'm actually using the term, but they all came from the Indian subcontinent. And I got invited round to have something to eat. I couldn't eat it. I was fucking melting. I was fucking melting by the level of heat these guys had. I thought I was going to be okay when I ended up having dinner with a Mexican family at university. Holy shit, I nearly died again. Why can't we celebrate that difference? It's me that's the weak bastard in that. It's not me taking the piss out of their culture. It's the fact that I can't cope with it.
See, I had it turned around to me as well because I ordered a korma at a curry place, and they just looked at me and they went, "I bet you're a big fella, aye? Just because I'm big, and I doesn't mean I can fucking handle heat."
I like a korma, all right? Just leave me alone.
I actually want to not shit myself to death tomorrow.
As opposed to the other 6 days of the week.
Yeah, well, you know, past experiences.
Let me give you a couple of really extreme examples where I think woke or political correctness or cancel culture, what have you, go a little too far. There was one that tried to become a thing in 2017, 2018. Have you guys ever heard of a concept called telepathic rape?
No, but I want to know more. Is it a 3-day course?
I never saw that episode of the X-Men.
Genuinely,
Xavier, what are you doing? Step Professor.
That sounds like Japanese porn.
Genuinely, this tried to be a thing, and this is what I want to emphasize here. It's a tiny minority of morons tried to make it a thing and got angry that people didn't get on board. But what the claim was, if a man masturbates and thinks about somebody they know in real life without their consent, they have committed rape.
How would they know? You'd have to stitch yourself up though, wouldn't you? You'd have to be telling people that you'd telepathically rape them. And then imagine you went to court. You could just say, no, I didn't.
The first thing that went through my head is 8 out of 10 cats does countdown. Because
Rachel
in that
Riley.
case, yeah, because Rachel Riley, officially by that definition, so remember the definition is masturbating to a female that you know in real life without their consent. So I would be permitted to bash one off to Rachel Riley, but Jimmy Carr is a repeat sex offender.
See, my way is thinking that if someone's bipolar, does that count?
Oh, well, no. So do you mean
Oh, no,
bipolar?
no, split
or do you mean
personality.
Well, the one that you're wanking over is bipolar,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you would be bipolar. Because if
Yeah.
you're wanking over a girl that's bipolar, you could be. I suppose it depends which character you pick.
I mean, I'm only after the happy one.
And I have to be a nerd in a woke episode because bipolar doesn't mean that. Bipolar means you have highs and lows. What you're talking about is multiple personality disorder. And that's really.
I
and it's
thought,
Yeah, but I don't want to wank over someone who's crying.
but I thought if
You know what I mean?
if you shag someone with bipolar,
Look.
does that class as a threesome?
And again, he's
Bipola's
got
like
the
a
wrong
manic depressive.
way.
Split personality.
That's an
So
orgy,
multiple
surely.
personality disorder is the new name for split personality disorder.
It just
Manic depressive is now called bipolar.
manic
they have
depressive
highs and
chicks
lows.
are amazing in bed.
So I knew it as manic depressive. By that reasoning, then Rachel Riley must have been telepathically gangbanged on a daily basis.
She will be tonight.
Now,
By all of my personalities.
but thank God, I mean, and this is what I want to reiterate, especially to guys and girls thinking about getting into comedy. It's a minority of people trying to inflict their twisted views on people. That's not woke. That's not manners. That's I don't like the idea of guys having a bash over me. Well, I'm sorry, you're never going to fucking know about it unless he really is a creep and comes up and tells you.
or unless he's Spider-Man.
Do it to strangers at the bus stop.
Here's another one. And I'm sorry if I'm starting to sound misogynistic, because there's another one that comes in. It comes from another ridiculous feminist trope. There was an article in I think it was The Guardian, I could be wrong on that. There was this lady saying that our society and environment is being destroyed because we are building phallic, male-centric cities. In other words, building skyscrapers and multi-storing buildings, replicating our cocks, and we should be going subterranean.
I mean, I'm modelling myself on the gherkin, so.
Is that where the leaning tower pizza comes from then? Lads who've got a bendy one.
That's the angle of the dangle.
Just remember, anyone can have a wank under a sheet, but it takes skill to do it without the hairdresser noticing.
To me, it makes me angrier than the source problem, because it's deflecting away from what actually needs protecting. If a guy and a girl are doing exactly the same job, they should get the same wage. That is the law. Well, they do. There's certain industries. There are certain industries where they don't, and there's a reason for it. So I'll be controversial here. There's a very outspoken member of the United States soccer team saying that football is a misogynistic society because he doesn't get paid the same as a Premier League footballer. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're not being paid the same as a Premier League footballer because he's in the entertainment business. What is the function of sport? It is entertainment. So he can draw an audience. If her argument was valid, why am I not getting the same per gig as Jimmy Carr? I can't draw the same audience as Jimmy Carr. That's the difference. That's not. If you are employed by a company to do exactly the same job, yes, that's illegal. So can we deal with those bits? Because there are certain companies that will try it. There are certain companies on 0-hour contracts that will try and pay a woman less than a man. That's wrong. That should be dealt with. Can we stop worrying about the fact that a tower block looks like a penis, please?
Thing is, though, I've never seen a rectangular dick.
It depends what I've been. My sex life is very low at the moment. I mean, I'm finding many orifices on my boat very attractive at the moment.
Minecraft's made for fucking dicks as well. Only dealing in blocks. I thought, like, the other side of that coin as well is like, what does she want? Does she want cities to look like tits and fannies? So we're actually digging into the ground and then just doing like lumps with little spires on the top.
Now this takes me into another one. This takes me into another one. One that I was actually challenged with. Thankfully not on the stand-up circuit, but I was challenged this when I was teaching academics in the military. And so I used to work at the staff college. And I was talking about history has proven to us, blah, 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 blah. And I won't say what service, but it was a female, and she turned around and went, "I'm sorry, I object to hearing the term history all the time. Why isn't it her Tory?" It's very misogynistic speech.
If it's the education centre, I can guarantee it wasn't the army.
Please tell me a uniform wasn't light blue.
I'm not saying a word, mate. I'm not going to cast aspersions on any service. Thankfully, look, I went to a C of E school, a technical college that turned into a comprehensive and a polytechnic, but I read a lot. So I'm not going to call myself classically educated, but thank God I was able to turn around and go, well, actually, I think you'll find history comes from the Greek And it comes from histor, which means to gain knowledge by inquiry. It has nothing to do with genitalia or sex. That's where history comes from.
But I just
So I
think
was
any
able to
woman-
shut her up. But
I just think any woman who sees a building and think it looks like a cock is just horny as fuck. Just absolutely gagging for it. They're like, "Whoa, look at that big skyscraper over there. I wish I could take it. I wish I could take that."
I mean, that's just a definite call for her to be an architect, surely. I love buildings. I fucking love buildings.
I
Let's get it
really
right,
love
though.
buildings.
But let's get it right, though. There are certain terms, actually, it makes sense to make them, oh God, another horribly woke term, but to make them gender neutral. I mean,
Gender neutral buildings.
well, no, for
Actually-
example, actor. Actor works. Why can't you be an actor, a male actor, a female actor, a transgender actor? That's
It's
fine.
actress,
We
isn't
don't need to use actress anymore. We don't have to call people servicemen anymore or service women. They're service personnel. It does get kind of crazy in the Royal Navy because we do have a branch called Seamen, which is a gag in
Mm.
itself.
Have you seen
Oh,
that
you
building
can't
in
that guy.
Beijing though? So there's a build. You just Google phallic building in Beijing and have a look at that, and then you might actually think, "Hang on a minute, some of them might have a point here."
There's a definition. There's a term for someone who's attracted to a building or an object. Objectophilia.
Objectively.
For those of you that are sat there with a laptop at the moment, there's an organization in Australia, right? And it's to promote getting women into the workplace and equal pay and equal rights and all this sort of stuff. It's called the Women's Network. Please Google Women's Network Australia and see what their fucking logo is. And you tell me I'm the fucking pervert because women authorized that fucking logo.
Women's Network Australia. I can't see anything coming up at the minute. See,
Jamie, please describe it to us, Jamie.
Titties.
as I said before, they're gagging for it. Absolutely gagging for it.
It's a pair of breasts in the shape of a W.
Sorry, what the fuck is going on?
But the bit to the right hand side does look like a bell end. So it looks
That's
like
it.
a bell end coming out. It looks like a tit wank, is what it looks like.
It's basically, they've made a logo. A bunch of ladies created a logo that looks like a tit wank. I'm sorry, that was not blokes that did that.
Horny bitches, they're worse. They're worse. They absolutely love it.
And this was the non-politically correct section of the podcast.
They absolutely love it. All of them. Women's Network, gagging for it.
Yes, I believe all
other
prostitutes
thing that-
should be played the same.
Yeah, this may sound like a broadcast according to the political party of Saunders, but I tend to think of, yeah, I'm not woke. I've just got manners, and my manners have evolved over the years. My language has changed over the years. But woke culture seems to be, oh, you're not allowed to offend anybody. So you're not allowed to talk about things. You're not allowed to do things. Here's one that grips my bollocks. Vegan protests at restaurants. Really?
Are they the twats that
I
glue
didn't even know
themselves?
that was a thing.
Well,
Also, when does
these
that
were
become a
like,
thing?
you're condoning murder of innocent animals and blah, blah, blah. Would you kill an animal to eat it? Well,
Yes.
actually, my grandfather was a butcher. My uncle was a farmer. Yes, I have
saying-
slaughtered animals. And
just
I'm
saying
quite
it-
happy to tell you which cuts of meat I like.
Just say, if the price of chicken goes up anymore, I'm going to kill you and eat you. Vegan.
Yeah, I'd take a more like terminant approach as like, yeah, the pig that I was actually bullying a black pig. So technically I killed.
So you only eat racist animals.
racist or bigoted animals, mate.
If you want to be vegan, go for it. And do you know what? There's many vegan meals I freaking adore, but you don't get the right to tell me I'm not allowed to do what is culturally and legally acceptable. Shut the fuck up. That's not on.
One of these groups of people, is it the Extinction Event people? Who keep on,
Extinction Rebellion.
yeah, the twats that keep on gluing themselves to shit.
Like roads.
Well, there was someone who tried to glue themselves to a painting, only it was covered in protective glass.
So he just
And they
glued
get-
himself to glass.
Just glued himself to glass for some fucking reason.
This is the bit that grips me. Aren't they actually being detrimental to the cause they so-called support? When we had Extinction Rebellion in London, they tried to stop the tube trains, which are the most environmentally form of transport in London.
But they glued themselves to tarmac as well, isn't it? To cause a traffic jam, to build up like fucking more carbon monoxide poisonous and shit like that. Okay, not that. Like I'm all
helping.
I'm all for people having a voice and saying shit, but actually say shit. Don't be a
But
dickhead
that's
about
the
it.
problem today. Everyone's got a voice on the internet, haven't they? And before it was better because people didn't have a voice. It's better to go back to that because not everyone deserves a
Well,
voice.
it's one
There's
of
a
the
lot
When-
of knobheads.
it's one of
There's a lot of
Just go back and say, like, if you've got an opinion, you've got to write it in.
yeah, you got to write in, and it's got to be supported by at least 1,000 people. 'Cause-
Yeah.
I mean, I took an IQ test once, and believe it or not, it came up as above average. Now that is very worrying because I think out of 7 billion people in the world, at least 3.5 billion of them are fucking more stupid than me, and that is terrifying. That is absolutely fucking terrifying.
But it staggers me. It absolutely staggers me because I think it just destroys the overall argument of what they want to be going for in the first place. It's like inclusive language. I'm for inclusive language. I've mentioned this before. I'm sorry, it's turning into my trope. Pronouns. I don't have a problem with pronouns if they're the big three. If they're the big three.
There's
If
three.
you,
Hang on a minute.
if
What was
you're the big three.
There's
So
three.
if you want to be he, him, brilliant. I don't care what your genitals are.
Yeah,
If
she,
you want
her.
to be-
What's the other
If
one?
you want to, and they, them.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But if you want to be
Fair one.
X, Y, and XE and YI and something that looks like you're just headbutting the fucking keyboard, fuck off. It's my language.
It was only. up
I'm
to a
only
few-
capable of one conscious thought at a time. I am not inventing new pronouns for people.
It was only up to a few years ago. I knew what a fucking pronoun was.
But to be honest, I still don't.
I knew like verbs. Verbs are doing words, isn't it? And then after that, I was very done.
Here's a boring one. Here's a really boring one for you, because it's sort of like it backs onto this thing of what happens when you're learning a foreign language. Okay, it's this thing of we used to have this big problem, and it's no longer a problem now. You know, and I really get it. Why do women have to change their title? Go from mistress to miss to Mrs. And if they get divorced, they can choose Ms, which nobody ever says in reality. Actually, do you know what? I get the fucking point of that. What happens when you learn another language? What is the German for Z? What is the Japanese for I identify as a turnip? What is the Indian, these gendered languages? What is it only the English speaking world that have to adopt these pronouns?
I think you have to adopt the mistress one when you're giving someone that you're not in a relationship a blowjob. I think that's the only one I'm sure of.
Why are you giving girls blowjobs?
Why am I?
I think I've got a secret. It might be a dude.
No, it means that gay
she's
is
tired,
very. It means
it's
gay
sucking
is
off a
very
pretty
proud
dry girl.
inclusive. Gabe is very trans inclusive.
You're sucking off a Thai girl. It might be a dude.
Yeah, but the pronouns were she, there, she, her. That counts.
As long as they're pretty.
There's the tenor I got for it, though, that counted.
You can just slide the meat and veg to one side.
We're going to pause for one moment. So, going to surprise you for 1 second, but check out the new way that you can be part of Project Comedy. Would you like to join Project Comedy? The reality is, it couldn't be much simpler. All you have to do is get on the internet and find your way over to the Project Recce website. That's Project, the word Project Recce, as in RECCE.org. O-R-G. Have a look in the upper right hand corner, click on the menu and click on Project Comedy. Scroll down there a bit and you'll find a link that says apply now. That will send an email to one of our ambassadors. If you're even more bored, scroll down a little further and you'll actually see a couple of our ambassadors making tits of themselves on the stand-up comedy stage. Nonetheless, just click on the link, get in contact, and you can be as funny as you want to be. Another one of these things that are supposedly woke and I find a little bit extreme is this concept of cultural appropriation. Now, bits and pieces of it, I get. Look, I'm the oldest person in this fucking group. I remember watching the black and white minstrels going, what the fuck is going on here? That was fucking wrong. That would you dial the clock forward now and going, why are a bunch of really stupid middle-class white twats doing this ridiculous show? But now, kids have been turned away from something I don't like. I know. Now they have, what do they call them? They're not balls. They have graduation when they get
balls.
mate.
I was like, the testicles. I'm in. I know this one.
But, they have proms. Proms. I'm sorry. They have proms, and a girl was sent away for wearing a sari dress to a prom because she thought it was beautiful, and she was turned away for cultural appropriation. What the fuck are you talking about? How's that cultural? If somebody admires something from another culture and wears it going, I think it's beautiful, how's that cultural appropriation?
I think it depends on how you wear it.
Well, if you're claiming to be of that community, yes, that would be cultural appropriation.
If you're just wearing it because you like that type of fashion, then I don't see any harm in that.
Cultural appropriation makes me want to punch someone, but I can't because I'm not Irish.
And that's why Gabe likes tea, because we've convinced his entire culture that he needs to follow the imperial ideal.
Yeah, we really enjoyed that raping and killing and all that stuff back in the day.
I mean, if you want to go that far, then that means, a man wearing a suit is not allowed to wear a tie because they came from cravat and they came from the imperial French court, cravatiers. So we can't wear it because that means we endorsed starving the peasants of France. What the fuck are you talking about? Where is the fucking line?
It's the other side of that coin as well is that just enforcing stereotypes. And
you and I were talking about various ways we cook our food and the way we like to make sauces and what have you. Are we culturally appropriating when we cook a curry at home then?
Yes, you bunch of racists.
Oh fuck! I'm a massive racist. I like cooking curry at home.
I enjoy a wide variety of food, and therefore a food racist.
can we prosecute the entire southern states of the United States of America for inventing the
Yes.
cultural appropriation that is Tex-Mex? It's also fucking shit.
Appropriating Mexican food by making it nothing like Mexican food.
That's it. It's official now. Yeah, Project Comedy has called it. Nobody in the UK is allowed to buy sushi anymore. You're not fucking Japanese. Fucking stop it. You're not allowed to do it. You're culturally appropriating, you bunch of xenophobic and racist bastards.
No, you're allowed to eat sushi. You just can't use chopsticks.
Oh, right. So is this the definition? If I eat sushi with a knife and fork, I'm allowed to eat sushi?
No, you're not allowed a knife and fork either. You just have to like put your
Slam your
face in
face
there.
into it.
Just throw your face in and eat it like a savage that you are, white man.
You gotta get your mate. You gotta get your mate to throw it into your mouth like a seal.
Here's another one because Jamie suggested it. I'll let you lead on it, mate. I'll just say one word. Statues.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago now, wasn't it, the Coulson statue in Bristol got knocked down. Now, I was of the opinion that why should we be pulling statues down as a way of combating historical racism? And you came up with a very valid point that he was a little bit of an evil man, really. So why should they've gone up in the first place? But coming back to my point, why tear them down? Because you can tear them down, you can throw them in the river. Has that altered anything to do with how we see historical slavery? Not one jot, in my opinion.
For me, because I knew, as you may guess by the accent, I lived in Bristol for a long time, and I knew the history of Colston. He wasn't a nice bloke. I mean, he was a white supremacist. He was a racist. He was a slave trader.
What
And
did he
I
do wrong?
always found. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is a late joke warning. This is a late joke warning. But it always staggered me that we had Colston Street, we had the Colston Hall, and the statue of Colston was there. And I'm like, why are we celebrating this bloke? But you're absolutely right. Removing a statue doesn't change history.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, I'm gonna chuck in something. The first time I've ever felt dishonored being a veteran and serving my country was when a bunch of, I'm going to call them dickheads, went to London to protect London statues because they were complaining about BLM, Black Lives Matter. It's all like, no, they'll want to pull down our statues. And shut the fuck up. You're conflating issues here. That is so disingenuous. In my perfect world, pull the statue down, put it in a museum, and then go, right, this is Colston. Loads of the good things happened here because of the money he made. Let's talk about how he made that money. It's not a black and white issue.
Yeah.
I completely agree. Pulling a statue down does not change history. But can we actually accept history? It's like these pillocks that turn around and go, oh, but there were black slavers too. Yeah, there were. But they were in the fucking minority. It's like saying all men have power. I'm sorry. 1% of 1% of men have power. I'm not fucking Elon Musk. I am not dictating to the world what's going on. Don't conflate two things. But I get the point. You don't pull statues down to change history, but occasionally you have to go, would you allow a statue of Hitler outside of Auschwitz? When I have to change my assistant's dog, would it be okay for me to call him Jimmy Savile?
Yes.
It's.
I'm actively encouraging that one. Just
Jimmy, get away from the kids, Jimmy.
Stop sniffing his bum,
No,
Jimmy.
put your didgeridoo away. Stop getting
No,
your
that's Rolf
didgeridoo out,
Harris.
Rolf.
Oh, if I get a cat, I'm calling it Rolf Harris then. Right, so I need a
Rolf
new
Harris.
assistant star called Jimmy
Rolf
Savile
Harris, the
and a
cat.
cat called Rolf Harris. Right, okay.
No, and then you just dress up like Jimmy Savile with a cat called Rolf Harris.
Look,
That
I
will be a creepy
know
Halloween.
I've got bad dress sense. I know I've got bad dress sense, but I would never dress like that.
On a side note of animal names, I knew a priest who had a large French poodle that was black, and it was called Satan. And he thought it was hilarious because the priest was going around telling Satan what to do.
Seeing as we've got two crabs here, this is one I cannot make my mind up about. When they remade Dam Busters,
They've remade
when
it.
they
Oh,
remade,
you're on about the dog, calling it Nigel.
no, this is
Oh,
recorded.
right.
This is a trigger warning. This is a trigger warning. We are here as an explicit podcast. We're talking about comedy, which means debate. The dog was called Nigger, but when they remade and re-edited the Dam Busters, they never used the dog's name. Was that right or wrong?
It depends if they were in an incestuous relationship with another dog.
Depends what the dog's pronouns were. If it was a him or they, then maybe.
Is that a sub branch of the
Didn't matter.
Black Incest Now group?
And did Nigel have his own
Black
statue?
Canine Incest Now.
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that because I watched the
Difficult one, isn't it?
re-edited black and white
I mean,
where they removed the reference to, in quotes, nigger as the name of the dog. The
What, so
movie
they
didn't
just- what
make
did
any
they
difference.
say? Well,
think
so
if they-
instead of
if it-
calling it, they didn't replace the dog's name. They just sort of, it was like, here boy,
Cut
here
it.
boy, or something like that.
Anyway, and your dog has died, sir.
Ah, right, okay. They just sort of like brushed over it rather than.
It didn't change. It didn't change the plot of the movie whatsoever.
Mm.
But it's sort of like I go back. So it was a different time. It was a very different time, and I'm actually, whilst I can claim no credit to it, but my parents could because they were children of that generation, and their parents, because they were living through it, can claim massive credit for anti-racism in the UK at that time. The fact that the Americans came over here and insisted there were white pubs and black pubs, and the UK would not have it. There were fist fights on the street of Britons punching out white US servicemen saying this black guy is not allowed to come into our pub. They
Really?
didn't realize the connotations.
I think when you look back through films, especially like I think wasn't there a big thing about they were saying that Greece was like part of the rape culture side of life as well, and then you're looking at things like To Kill a Mockingbird, American History X, and stuff like that, and
Hop Fin, and we've got to read it within the concepts of the time. But there are differences as well. For example, we've had a couple of people enter into the community of Project Comedy and go, I want comedians back like. I want the likes of, I've just had PTSD fart brain. It will come back.
Manning.
Jeffro.
They want Burnham Manning back. They want Jim Davidson back. They want, no.
Chubby Brown.
Chubby Brown's slightly different. He wasn't quite as though he was just offensive. But it's that point of, no, that's not acceptable anymore.
Yeah.
We've got, as comedians, we have to live in the day, not yesterday.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
I'm not going to pay to see Jim Davidson. I've seen Jim. He was funny. I see Jim now. He's embarrassing.
Mm.
And it's all like, well, can you grow with the times? Can you bring your comedy up to date? And it's almost as though Jim Davison can't be bothered to make jokes relevant to the common era, to where we live now.
Yeah, but that brings it back to reading the room, doesn't it? If it's a basic concept that if he's telling jokes that aren't relevant in this day and age, read the room, mate. Read the room and adjust.
Some people just plow on though, don't they? Like not. That's why I'm saying connection is so important, because you can just plow on and go on and on and on, come in with the same shit, and it's like you need to move on and evolve.
And I think this is a mistake.
Are we still talking about rape?
Well, just keep going. They said no. They keep saying no, but I'm going to finish. Whatever happens.
This I think
You'll get it in the end.
This I think is a mistake that a newbie comedian can fall into, because they think, right, so I've watched Bill Burr and I've watched Frankie Boyle, etc., etc., etc. Right? I'm allowed to get away with that kind of humor. On the open mic circuit, you don't have a following. You're standing in the corner of a pub. You're working small gigs. You're waiting for your first paycheck. You've got to entertain that room, not your fans. Because guess what, Sunshine? As an open mic act, for the first 3 to 5 years of your career, you don't have a fan base. You're entertaining the people in front of you, not your fan base. Frankie can get away with so much more than I can, because Frankie's got a following. Ricky Gervais, I fucking hate the twat, but he's got a following. He'll make an income.
Yeah.
As a new comedian, you entertain the audience in front of you. If you think they've got to be your kind of audience, you are going to fail.
100%, and that's what Jay says, doesn't he? In the intermediate course, I think, is it?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, here's another one of your suggestions, guys. That wonderful type of woke people that get offended on other people's behalf. Carry on.
That's like somebody apologizing for somebody with a disability. Oh, I'm offended because he's blind.
I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes and wish that my missus could go for a piss for me, but not really the same thing. I think, imagine if you could like telepathically pass your piss into someone else and then they can have a piss for you. I think that would be awesome. But it's just ridiculous.
Telepathic rape.
Well, telepathic piss rape, I like to call it.
Right, I'm now writing a list of all the people I need to piss for me tonight.
How many times do you wake up during the night? I know you're old, but
is it me? Is it me? How does that make logical sense? How can you be offended on somebody else's behalf?
It's ridiculous. Again, there's no cure for being a cunt.
It's because they understand and know everything about that person, so therefore.
Yeah. But how I see that as pure arrogance, though, isn't it?
It's like the comment, the statement of what's that? Uncontested. What's that love thing?
Love Island.
Love Island. Love Island.
Yeah, unconditional love. I hate it when people say, I love them. I love my kids unconditionally. No, you don't.
No.
Yeah.
No. Impossible.
Because I said it to me. She was like, all right, I'll give you a condition where you will fall out of love with the daughter.
I know what
she goes, go on then. All right. A couple of years down the line, she just randomly starts killing kids. She goes, all right, yeah, go on then.
I might even use this. I've just thought it up. I might even use this in a stand-up. Yeah, I had unconditional love right up until the moment that he raped me.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not unconditional.
Yeah. It's just a stupid thing. It irritates the fuck out of me. But yeah, people who get upset for other people. Like I was
in certain cases they can be. So say for example, you're in an audience one night and you've got a kid with Downs and they are being really detrimental about Down syndrome, yes, you can be offended by that. But yeah, if you've got no connection to it, get the fuck away from me.
I remember I was in a Tesco's and we were walking around and they had a load of retro T-shirts out, and one of them was a 7-Up, and there was a Down syndrome couple and they had like carers with them and stuff, and they said, "Ah, I don't want it to be 7-Up, I want it to be 7 Down." And the carers didn't know what to do. They was like, "You can't tell them, you can't say that." Fucking, of course you can. Shut up. How are you being offended for something they've fucking said?
This links in really nicely because disability, right? I'll stand on my. I'm not even a high horse. I'll stand on a tiny step stool. So officially, I am registered disabled, and I joke about having PTSD. Officially, I am entitled to have one of the blue badges for my car. I don't have one. One, pride. The second one is my car's off the road. But it's sort of like, what? Why are you offended on my behalf? Why are you telling me trigger warning? No, I've got to live in this fucking world. So why do you think you can get offended for me? Most of my mates that I've done things like, so I've tried out for Invictus Games twice. I've been at the Warrior Games. I've met guys with what I call far more serious injuries than me. Guys that have lost multiple limbs, half their brains, half their rib cages, all this sort of stuff. They're my fucking mates. They are my fucking mates, and they can be the funniest fuckers on the planet. Why are you offended for them? What gives you the right to be offended for them?
See, I get it the other side. People just assume I'm disabled. They start saying, like, it must be awful, mustn't it? Well, I don't know, probably, yeah.
I did for the first 6 months, mate. I did for the first 6 months. It was only your missus that convinced me otherwise.
Well, you do have a ginger daughter. Stepdaughter.
Fucking stepdaughter. Hey, stepdaughter.
Oh, here's one that just defines it for me. My brain has farted. I will. Amazing mate of mine from the staff college. He got blown up in Iraq 2. EOD officer, explosive ordnance officer, got blown up, ended up winning the George Cross because he refused to be evac'd until he had guided the team in to take every last one of the rest of his team out away from the IED that had gone off on him. He had lost most of one arm, nearly the entire other arm, both legs gone, half of his rib cage, the entire fucking lot. And everybody normally turn around and go, people would normally be like, oh, what a tragic story. When he ended up in rehab, what was the name of the hospital we had for all the guys that lost limbs?
Oh,
something else, wasn't it?
The military hospital.
Was it in Birmingham?
Yeah.
Close to Selly Oak.
Not Selly Oak.
Selly Oak is where they moved it to. Headley Court.
Headley Court, yes. Of course it was.
Headley Court.
Headley Court.
Yeah.
When he was in Headley Court, he was the naughtiest bastard I've ever heard of in my life. They had seen everybody else on his ward. It was an open ward, multiple guys, multiple limb injuries, the entire lot. They had seen his injuries and went, well, he can't do anything. Every night, he threw himself out of his bed, crawled around the place, and swapped everybody's prosthetic limbs. So that when they woke up in the morning, they were trying to put on a leg that didn't belong to them, trying to put an arm on that didn't belong to, and they're going fucking mental and didn't realize for months that it was Pete every night getting out of his bed and swapping limbs on people. Please do not find sympathy for people that are living their fucking lives. Pete's a fucking legend.
Oh, I like it.
Fuck woke, don't be a cunt. Finish that. There's no cure for being a cunt. All it takes is one bad day.
Yeah, if you're going to be a cunt, be a nice cunt.
Or a tight one.
What do you mean? I love that's the best one, isn't it? Best
Depends
one.
if you're getting raped or not. I
I was
suppose.
gonna- a bit of spit.
Well, I'll go back to a common trend we've said on this podcast. Is there anything you can't joke about?
No.
Don't think so.
So if you're talking about a sensitive subject, what do you do with it?
I treat it like a priest treats a choir boy and just kick its back doors in. Plow in.
Sorry, that was me choking.
Just plow in there. Get in there.
Maybe I'm becoming too much of a preacher about this, but it's remember what your fucking job is as a comedian. Yeah, your job is to entertain a bunch of people in front of you and make them laugh. Have a little bit of respect. Go as close to the edge as you can. And every now and again, you're going to make a mistake. You are going to make mistakes in your early career, but you'll learn from them. You'll learn the difference between punching up and punching down. But as long as your attempt was to show respect to people, let people still have their dignity and entertain the audience in front of you, what the fuck is wrong with that?
Yeah. I mean, manners cost nothing. Respect costs nothing.
Shut up, cunt.
You don't have to be woke.
Jamie, you don't know what you're talking about. You were in the Air Force.
Sorry.
Oh, Gabe, did you just get offended on his behalf?
I'm gonna severely berate myself later. So you leave that poor fella alone. He's been through some shit. He's run 5 miles. Bless him.
I'm going to write a strongly worded letter.
Yeah, probably D.
There might be the word
D.
disappointing in there.
So obviously we do not have the answer. You've just got to play with the audiences you get. Just remember, when you are a new stand-up act, you're entertaining the people in front of you. Have a little bit of respect, but push the boundaries. Make them uncomfortable if it makes them laugh and still like you. I can't thank my fellow co-hosts enough for this. The glorious people that are Gabe Murphy, Dan Wright, and the dear old Jamie Johnson. We're very nice to him occasionally. Cheers, guys.
Not a problem, pal.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye all.
Just remember, you can have comedy wherever you want to find it. Just worry about, is it going to hurt you? Is it going to hurt them? Then maybe it isn't a gag. But just play with stuff. But until next time.
If you want to see what we're actually like on stage, please have a look at our YouTube channel. Search for Project Comedy, Veterans Doing Stand-Up, and look for our black and white logo that's exactly the same as the one we use for this podcast. You can also now follow us on Twitter. We can be found at Proj Comedy. That's at PROJ Comedy. I'm EJ Saunders. I can be found on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter if you look for Comic J Saunders. That's all one word with the letter J in the middle. Comic J Saunders. Thanks again to everyone that's taken part in this episode. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Project Comedy Podcast. Please support our veterans as they continue their comedy journeys. To find out more, including gigs our veterans are doing, please search for the Project Comedy group on Facebook, where you'll also find links to Project Recce, the veterans charity that makes Project Comedy possible.